today on Florida Sport Fishing.
Oh,
Whoa!
oh. That's what running and gunning is. When you get on them, you got to make the most of it.
It's still green, dude. Your fish is still green.
Thank you. Nice job. Nice. Ho-ho, what on?
CV Boats presents Florida Sport Fishing, television for the avid angler, powered by Mercury Marine.
Oh, yeah.
There's a sailfish. Already got a bite. Ridiculous.
Another one on, another one on. Woo. That's what it's all about right there. Nice jump. Oh, look at that, look at that.
Florida Sport Fishing TV proudly utilizes and endorses VMC Coastal Black Hooks, engineered to withstand the harshest saltwater environments. Salt Life Optics, Italian style and Zeiss lenses provide unparalleled contrast and clarity for finding fish faster. Tsunami, a complete line of tackle and tools designed and manufactured for maximum fish catching success. Boat Outfitters, from replacement parts to hard-to-find hardware, boat owners and builders count on BoatOutfitters.com. King Sailfish, providing anglers worldwide with the finest fish mounts. Visit KingSailfishMounts.com and order your trophy today.
Hey guys, welcome to Florida Sport Fishing TV. We've got Captain Carlos on board.
Hello.
Myself, we're on our CV370Z. We've got a really cool episode in store for you. We're gonna run offshore, do some running and gunning for dolphin.
Yeah, buddy.
You know, really an awesome tactic. A lot of different ways to catch dolphin. Certainly you can troll, you can kite fish for dolphin, but running and gunning can be really exciting. You know, you're gonna run offshore, you're gonna look for debris, birds, color changes, anything that says fish here.
Life. Just look for life.
Look
man.
for life, you
Yeah.
know, and then we've got to focus our efforts right on those particular areas. So we've got a nice morning. There's some thunderstorms around, but pretty flat, calm, nice conditions. So I'll tell you what, I think we're gonna get hooked up, baby.
Let's go do it, man.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
You know, running and gunning for dolphin can be super exciting, but it's important that you keep your eyes open, you know, above looking for birds, frigates way up in the air, birds picking off the surface. Of course, anytime you see any sort of birds, you want them to be close to the surface. If they're really up in the air, really high, flying around, they're not feeding, they're just looking, they're searching. When they're down close to the water, obviously they're feeding, there's fish pushing bait up toward the surface. So you really want to look for those low-flying birds, but certainly any birds is better than none. Weedlines, you know, that's obvious. Everybody looks for weedlines when they're out here running and gunning. But there's more to it. Rips, color changes, thermoclines. You know, you've got to keep a sharp eye out above, right on, and below the surface. You know, anything that's going to attract bait, anything that's different than everything else, potentially could be a hot spot. You know, but it's a gamble. I mean, every time you stop and you start chunking, you don't know what's going to happen, you know? You're not trolling around. You know, you're not searching in that fashion. You're just looking for fishy water and focusing all of your energy on specific areas that are likely to hold the fish. It's less time with baits in the water, but all of that time with baits in the water, you're in likely areas. You're not just blind trolling all over the place, hoping that, you know, you stumble across a couple of fish. And this morning, haven't seen any weed at all. Came out of Hillsborough Inlet, ran about 20 miles to the southeast. Don't see a speck of grass anywhere, certainly not a good thing. But we did just stumble across a couple of rips. There was one just inshore of us. There's a little bit of a rip right offshore right there. You could see it up on the surface. And sometimes that's all it takes, is that little rip like that to congregate some bait, to congregate the dolphin. So we're gonna try this here, 15, 20 minutes. We don't get a bite, we're gonna move on.
The award-winning Z Performance line from CV raises the bar. It's not just fast. It's not just fuel efficient. The CVZ is the entire package. It offers the perfect balance, safe, predictable handling during hard turns and at high speed. And most importantly, the Z stays on plane at lower speeds, so it can comfortably handle anything Mother Nature can dish out. Experience the exhilarating ride of the CVZ. Schedule a sea trial today.
It's your turn to score big. Book a long-range adventure aboard the legendary Yankee Captains. Fish virgin waters more than 100 miles offshore for exotic queen snapper, trophy tilefish, monster grouper, and more. With a lifetime of experience, let Captain Greg Mercurio and his dedicated crew put you on a hot bite. Fish around the clock or just relax. With full galley and huge fish boxes, all you'll need to bring is your appetite for action. Now sailing from Key West year-round.
It's in the heartbeat, it's in the real thing. You can't make it up. It's in your soul deep. It's in the stars, the stripes, this dirt on my feet. The way I love my woman and I wish you loved for me. It's in the heartbeat.
Geico, more than just car insurance.
What if navigating was as simple as touch and go? It is that simple. The world's first multi-touch MFD chart plotter, Navnet TZ Touch.
First thing we do, we start chunking, get a nice steady slick going, and that could be really chopped up anything. You know, we've got a cooler full of frigid rigid full of chopped sardines, nice and oily. You know, it's a great bait. There's some bonita mixed in with that, some squid mixed in, goggle-eyes chopped up in there. So we'll get that slick going, and then we'll set out a couple of long squid, a couple of flat lines with some whole squid, and we'll just get those out there. And then we'll also take another rod with a jig and drop it down deep. And you don't even need to work it. I mean, just leave it in the rod holder, and just the motion of the boat will keep that jig moving. Something colorful, dolphin-like color. And then, of course, we've got some lighter rods with some artificial lures, poppers, tsunami swim baits, all kinds of good stuff. Bucktails, a little buccaneer bucktail. I mean, these are staples when it comes to throwing artificials at dolphin. And the nice thing about running and gunning, it's really sight fishing is what it boils down to, you know. 9 out of 10 times, those fish are gonna come right up to the boat. They're gonna come right up to the source of that chunk slick to see where it's coming from. And really, you can determine what size tackle you want to use based on the size fish that you see. For the most part, we all know dolphin are schooling fish, and they tend to hang out and congregate in the same size. You know, you'll have fish in that schooly little 2 to 5 pound range, the little peanuts, and then you'll have those 5 to 10 pounders, and of course some bigger fish. But generally, you can see the fish that you're throwing baits at, so you can select that perfect tackle to really maximize the sporting quality and really enjoy it. I mean, it's sight fishing, it's offshore sight fishing. Whenever you're chunking, get yourself a ladle. You know, you can see, I mean, this is just a homemade ladle, little plastic scoop at the end, about a 30-inch piece of PVC pipe. Nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. And I'll tell you what, this is a lifesaver. You know, it's nice and neat. You don't have to bend down to grab your baits every time. It'll save your back. You can chuck some baits out away from the boat, keeps everything nice and clean. Absolutely a must-have when chunking for dolphin or snapper or really any other type of fishery where you're gonna be creating a chunk slick. Get yourself a ladle. Whoa, whoa!
Where are you going?
The little guy ate my squid. Oh, look at them, they're all around the boat. That's what it's all about, you know? You're searching a lot of open water, looking for, there's a couple good ones right there. There's a little bit of a bigger one. Looking for fish, and you finally come across them. Oh, oh,
Whoa!
whoa.
Oh!
He almost jumped in the boat,
Yeah,
look at that. That's what running and gunning is. When you get on them, you gotta make the most of it.
He's still green, dude. Your fish is still green.
Thank you. Nice job. Nice. Dude, are these the best outfits for these fish, or what, little 10-pound redfish outfits?
Yeah. This is the way to do it, man. If you could do it, for sure. Oh, that was fun. Wrecking them.
Beautiful. White bucktail jig, this little buccaneer jig. Nothing fancy. White bucktail, just whiz it through the water. That's it. When they're around the boat like this, they'll crush it. Tell you what, guys, the bite's on. Gonna get back to chunking. Running and gunning has paid off today. We're gonna take a break from the action for a second, check out our rigging station, wanna talk to you about the tackle. I'm gonna go catch a couple more.
Rigging Station, presented by Diamond Fishing Products, the finest monofilament, fluorocarbon, and braided fishing line in the world.
Hey guys, finding yourself in a hot dolphin bite is one of the most exciting things in all of offshore fishing. But I'll tell you what, to make the most of it, you really have to be rigged properly. Summertime patterns, running and gunning, you're gonna come across a lot of schoolie size fish in the 20 to 30 inch range. Scale it down, make the most of it. I fish a Chaos 7-foot rod. It's an inshore graphite rod rated for 8 to 17 pound line. I've got the rod matched to a Daiwa BG size 4000 reel loaded with 10-pound diamond braid. 400 yards of line, plenty of line capacity. I finish it off with about 5 feet of diamond presentation fluorocarbon, and I've connected that braid to the fluorocarbon with an FG knot. I've been using this knot a lot recently. Easy to tie, super strong, very stealthy and sleek, easy to cast, and easy in and out of the guides as well. Sight fishing, that's what running and gunning is all about. I like to fish artificial lures, tsunami holographic swim baits, stick baits, poppers. I really like the tsunami holographic shrimp. These shrimp live in the grass, flip it out there, twitch it, dolphin go crazy over it. Now, of course, if any larger fish show up, any slammers or gaffers, you're gonna need to step it up a notch. I go to a Chaos 7-foot rod rated for 15 to 30 pound line. I've got the rod matched to a Daiwa Isla size 7000 reel loaded with 20-pound diamond line. Same gig, I finish it off with about 5 feet of diamond presentation fluorocarbon. 40-pound test is what I start with, but certainly I'm gonna have some 50-pound line and even some smaller stuff, 30-pound test. These fish are notorious for getting spooky. Sometimes you're gonna need to go all the way down to 20-pound test. Finish it off with a VMC 5.0 or 7.0 live bait hook, the Coastal Black series. And I'll tell you what, between these two outfits, you're gonna be able to handle any dolphin that you come across, and you're gonna have a great time doing it.
Captain Steve Roger from Into the Blue. I just got these new bubble blade pliers in my hands and they are awesome. You got aircraft aluminum frame, the gripper is stainless steel, coated in titanium, and the cutter is tungsten. A great cutter is going to cut all the monofilament, braid, anything you got. And the best thing of all, it's got the bubble blade grip. Just like the knife, these things are not going to slip out of your hand. Awesome pair of pliers. I suggest you try them out.
Another one on the jig.
Woo! That's grouper dynamo.
Yeah! How's that for a sea monster?
Chaos. Gear matters. Shop online or visit our new superstore for everything fishing.
Joey Accardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram reminds you that before you can do this, you have to do this. And before you can do that, you're going to need this. Save thousands on every new Ram truck at Joey Accardi in Pompano Beach. Family owned and operated and bringing South Florida our best deals for over 25 years. So before you can do this. And before you can do this, you have to do this. Visit joeyaccardicdjr.com.
Beautiful little cow. We've been running and gunning all morning. Finally found the right pack of fish that are real cooperative. All around the boat eating. You know, we kept, I don't know, dozen fish, 15. It's plenty. Now we're pretty much just catching them and releasing them, other than ones that aren't gonna make it. No sense in releasing that fish. But I'll tell you, that's what this is about. That's what running and gun is about. It's about spending your time, investing your time on areas that are really fishy, you know? And if you hit enough of them, you're gonna hit pay dirt. You know, it's a gamble. You gotta put in the time, you're not trolling, you're spending a lot of fuel, a lot of time looking around. But when you find them, it's just a slaughter. I mean, really, it's a slaughter.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh.
It's easy to get carried away when you're in a hot dolphin bite. It really is. Keep 10, keep a dozen, whatever you could eat fresh. After that, release them. You know, these fish grow really, really fast. As a matter of fact, one in particular fish was tagged off Miami recently, a couple years ago, last year, something like that, by a boat called the Thomas Flyer. That fish was at large for 9 months. Swam all the way up the East Coast, across to the Sargassum Sea, all the way back down, and ultimately was caught down in like Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic. That fish went from 2.5 pounds, approximately 2.5, 3 pounds, to 43 pounds, 40 pounds. Just extraordinary. You know, we're really privileged here off South Florida to have such world-class dolphin fishing. You can come out any day of the year and catch these fish. Certainly the summertime right now, blazing hot, mid-August, about 110 degrees, covered in sweat. You know, pretty much peak dolphin season, the summertime. You get these southeast breezes. Sometimes they stack up these weed lines. Sometimes you just get a little scattered weed. But I'll tell you what, when it's on and you find them, there's nothing better than a dolphin blitz. So amazing watching these fish in their, you know, natural habitat, in their natural environment.
Good shot.
Beautiful.
That's not a bad fish.
Little female, certainly one of the prettiest fish in the ocean, and absolutely the most popular. And what I'm gonna do now is show you in our captain's kitchen how to take this dolphin and make an absolutely delicious Guatemalan fish sandwich. Check it out.
Captain's Kitchen, presented by Pelagic Gear, official apparel provider of Florida Sport Fishing TV.
Hi, and welcome to my Captain's Kitchen, and actually my wife lets me say that. Hey, real quick, I'm gonna show you how to make an absolutely delicious dolphin sandwich. I call it the Guatemalan fish sandwich. A little bit of history, we're fishing in Guatemala, catching a bunch of sailfish, a bunch of dolphin. Mate takes a beautiful dolphin, fillets it, goes in the cabin, comes back out with this killer sandwich. Weird combination, 4 ingredients: dolphin, American cheese, fried onions, and ketchup. Really weird, but I'll tell you what, one of the best fish sandwiches you'll ever eat. Starts by taking a little bit of olive oil, preheating it in a pan. Okay, you want to get that nice and hot because you want to fry these onions up. Like I said, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and just fry these up till they're nice and caramelized and browned. Next step, now that we've got our onions nice and browned, we've got to cook the fish, okay? We've toasted a couple of buns, they're ready to go. Remember, this dolphin's gonna cook fast. You don't wanna overcook it. The trick is to cook it about 3/4 of the way, then take it off the heat, let it sit for a couple of minutes before you eat it, and it'll be absolutely perfect. Salt and pepper, that's it. No other seasonings. Take a little bit of olive oil again. You don't need much, just a little bit in the bottom of that pan. Throw in some beautiful fresh pieces of dolphin. And salt and pepper side down. Remember that. You want that seasoning side down. There we go. Beautiful. And when that center, part is still nice and rare and pink, that's when you want to flip that fish over. Fresh piece of cheese right over the top, and throw a lid on it, and turn that heat off. It's really like a cheeseburger with fried onions, but instead of the ground beef, you're gonna go with a fresh piece of fish. So we've toasted a nice roll, ready to go, a nice fresh Kaiser roll. Oh wow, that fish looks amazing. Woo-hoo. Nice melted cheese on there. We're just gonna take a nice little perfect piece of that and put it right on there. There we go. Right on top of your fish. And don't be shy, these onions are delicious. Ketchup. And I'll tell you what, there it is, right there, the Guatemalan fish sandwich. The best dolphin fish sandwich you've ever eaten. A little more info on this sargassum weed. Of course, it's the most popular type of debris that we find out here. And sargassum, honestly, is the only type of algae that can multiply and breed up on the surface, floating on the surface of the water. That's really, really unique. And that's why, of course, it expands and multiplies and grows bigger and bigger. What's also important to remember is that the sargassum has these little, grape-like air bladders that keep it afloat. And sometimes at night, as the temperature cools down, the sargassum will actually, sink a little bit below the surface and you won't even see it. So if you come out early in the morning, 6, 7, 8 a.m., you may not see any weed lines. But by 11, 12 o'clock, you'll start to see that grass because the temperature is warmed up. The gas inside those little air bubbles is now suspending all of that weed. So it really is an amazing type of vegetation. Everything relies on sargassum. Whales, porpoises, seabirds, juvenile fish, crabs, shrimp. If it's alive and if it's in the ocean, it relies on sargassum weed. Sargassum weed is edible. You can fry it, you can steam it, you can stew it, you can pretty much do anything and eat it. Don't know if I'd recommend it, but if you're floating around out in the ocean and you have nothing else to eat, grab yourself a bite of sargassum. Florida Sport Fishing is the #1 magazine for resident and visiting anglers. Each giant issue is packed with informative editorials, easy to follow illustrations, and tips to keep you hooked up. Subscribe today and I'll deliver the magazine to your home for only 4 cents a day. Visit FSFTV.com right now and I'll also include a hat, unlimited access to Florida Sport Fishing Digimag for your tablet and phone, and a special gift to keep you cool on and off the water. Fortress, the world's best anchors. Stronger, faster, lighter. High-tech aluminum alloy makes Fortress anchors the easiest to handle. Precision machining and sharpening results in the fastest setting anchor. Fortress buries deep for the strongest holding power. With 8 models from 4 to 69 pounds, there's a Fortress anchor for you. Fortress, stronger, faster, lighter. Soft Science, on and off the water, I love these shoes. Amazingly lightweight, fast drying, stable, and supportive. Based on biomechanics, Soft Science shoes reduce foot and back pain and are the most comfortable footwear I've ever worn. And when you stand on the deck of a boat all day, that makes a big difference. Anglers and boaters demand shoes that are slip resistant, non-marking, and stain and odor resistant, and Soft Science delivers. Dozens of fashionable styles and colors available at softscience.com.
Florida Sport Fishing TV proudly utilizes and endorses Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Precise control and accuracy in challenging conditions means better fishing. Tropic Trailer, Florida's largest trailer dealer, has the right boat, cargo, or utility trailer at the right price. Bio Green Clean, the first heavy-duty, environmentally friendly multi-surface cleaner that actually works. Tsunami, hard plastic poppers and stick baits designed to deplete local fish populations. Please practice catch and release. Frigid Rigid, from 35 to 300 quarts, the finest coolers, fish coffins, and freezers on the water.
Guys, you gotta be conservation minded. When you're in a hot dolphin bite, it's easy to get carried away, as I mentioned earlier. We kept our dozen fish, dozen schoolies. That's plenty to eat fresh, give some to friends, family, neighbors. What we're gonna do is spend a bunch of time tagging a bunch of these fish. This is really important for the dolphin tagging study program. Okay, helps us track the migration routes of these fish, where they go, how fast they grow.
That's the Don Hammond study, right?
It is, yep. And right on the screen here, right on the bottom right there is this website. Go right to that website. You can get yourself a free set of tags. They have little cards where you fill in your information, the boat information, your location, what the conditions were like, estimated size of the fish, which clearly I can see that fish is about 24, 25 inches, maybe 4 or 5 pounds. And what I like to do is keep that fish in the water until I'm ready to actually insert the tag in the fish. And what you need to do is just simply pull out that corresponding tag. There's a little number right on the streamer, and that corresponds to the card. You fill out the information, you drop it in the mailbox, the fish is recaptured, somebody calls that little phone number on there, they match the serial number on the streamer with the card, and that's how they're able to identify your particular fish. You simply take the streamer and insert it right into your little poker, your little tagger, okay? And then at that point, Carlos is gonna grab the fish very carefully. He's got a wet towel. He's gonna unhook the fish real carefully. I'm gonna insert the tag, and boom, she's gonna go right back in the water and swim away. This is more rewarding than actually putting the fish in the box. Okay? Fish is ready, right in the shoulder. We're just gonna insert that tag right there, pull it out,
Okay.
boom, and just let that fish go.
Okay.
There's nothing better than getting that phone call saying, hey, your tagged fish was caught. And you know, now it was 25 pounds,
Right.
you know, and
A couple
somebody else
months
caught
later.
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, somebody else caught it and had the fun of catching that fish, and you know, it matured and had
Yeah.
babies. I mean, and you
Yeah.
just keep the whole population going. Let's grab another one, catch a couple more. Let's tag some more.
Yeah, there you go. You cover his eyeballs too and his head.
Right there, nice and gently.
It
Look at that.
doesn't let him like flip out and
Boom.
keeps him calm. See? And you just let him go.
Hope you enjoyed this show, picked up a couple of great tips. Trolling is great, there's no doubt. Kite fishing for dolphin is great, but running and gunning is where it's at.
To learn more about the tactics and techniques seen on today's show, and to subscribe to Florida Sport Fishing Magazine, visit floridasportfishing.com and get hooked up.